Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Morning 4 podcast. I hope that you're having a wonderful week. Today is Wednesday, and I'm your host, Katie Parsons, back and ready for 3 all-new episodes to finish out this week strong. A new one today, Thursday, and Friday morning. We're going to go through 3 fun and uplifting things, including a feel-good news story each day, and we're going to end with an affirmation together. And if you've been listening the last couple weeks and heard me talk about the play that I was recently in, The Juniper Tree, you can head over to the Morning 4 on YouTube today because as I'm speaking, there are photos from that production scrolling by, photos and a little bit of video. And to that end, if you're a listener and you feel like you've gotten to know me through this podcast, I would love to know you a little better. That's why I would love for you to follow my personal accounts on Instagram and Twitter and send me a message and let me know that you're a listener. That way I can follow you back. And you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at by Katie Parsons. That's B-Y, Katie Parsons with an S on the end. And the links to my Instagram and my Twitter are also in today's show notes. So I'd love to connect there and talk some more. You can see all sorts of things like photos from this show, my kids, myself, what I ate for lunch, those types of things. I also post a lot of sunrise photos. So hopefully you'll follow me there and we can get to know each other just a little bit better. So let's go ahead, though, and get to the business at hand, which is today's episode. So let's start with
Number 1.
So the play I was in is an adaptation by an American playwright named Wendy Kesselman, who wrote it based on a Grimm's fairy tale. So the pair of brothers, Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm, created a compilation of traditional German folk tales that was published in 1812. And so collectively, those are called Grimm's fairy tales. The book contains many of the fairy tales we have come to know and love, like Little Red Riding Hood and Snow White and the Juniper Tree. Many of these well-loved fairy tales didn't have happy endings, though. In the French version of Rapunzel, at the end, she is turned into a frog, and the prince is cursed with a pig's snout. Not all of them are original to the Grimm's brothers either. The very first tale of Cinderella, for example, was recorded in China around AD 850. And she wore a dress made of kingfisher feathers, and her shoes, instead of glass slippers, they were made of gold. And even Little Red Riding Hood dates back to hundreds of years before the Grimm brothers, and it was a way to warn children of the dangerous wild animals in the woods. People were actually really afraid of wolves back then. I mean, I'm still really afraid of wolves, but I guess it was, like an even bigger thing than now. So the storytelling obviously is timeless, and I expect more adaptations with happy endings, sad endings, twisted endings will continue to be written in the coming centuries.
Number 2.
So today is a holiday that I get to celebrate times 4. It's National Daughter Day, and it's a date designed to celebrate those little girls in our lives that make everything just so much brighter. So I did not have any sisters growing up, and I will talk your ear off about how upsetting that was as a kid, but I feel like as an adult now and as a mother, the universe has smiled on me because I have 4 daughters, 2 nieces, and 2 wonderful sisters-in-law. So I'm so thrilled with the amount of wonderful ladies in my life, my daughters, and those who feel like daughters, and those who feel like sisters. And sometimes I don't like to share holidays like this on the podcast. I know that there's people out there who maybe have strained relationships with their daughters, their mothers, their sisters, whoever that may be. But if you can think of someone today who either treated you like a loved daughter or who you love like a daughter, even if they're not actually blood related to you, I'd encourage you to reach out, send a text, send an email, give them a hug, and celebrate National Daughter Day.
Number 3.
Today's feel-good news item is sourced from the Good News Network. When an elementary school principal heard that one of his students had been spending recess all by herself, he took time out of his schedule to sit with her during recess. Since 2nd grade, student Lucy Taylor has cerebral palsy, and it has been difficult for her to make friends at school. However, her mother posted something on Facebook about the daughter's struggles, and the school's principal spotted it. So the next day, he joined Lucy at recess, and the mom said the youngster was over the moon with happiness. Since the principal first sat with her, he has also managed to rally a group of youngsters who, thought it was pretty cool that their principal was out there, and they came over to spend recess over there too, and they now have a new crew of friends titled the Bubble Club.
Number 4.
Well, how can you fill in the gaps today for someone? How can you reach out to someone that just maybe needs that extra person to be there for them, to stand up for them, to show them that kindness does exist? How can you do that today? Think about it, and let's go ahead and say today's affirmation together. It is not enough to admire someone in silence. Today, I will tell someone how he or she has inspired me. Let someone know how much you care about them today, and I will see you back here again tomorrow.